Hello students, I'm Anita Abraham, Associate Professor of English. Welcome to the English classroom. This is video number 23. Today's English lesson is from semester 3 of the General English curriculum prescribed by Osmania University for students of BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. Today's topic is titled Essay Writing Discursive Essays. If you like my video, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified of subsequent videos. Let's get started. Essay writing, discursive essay. This is our topic for today. An essay is perhaps the most common form of writing that a student encounters during their academic life. And later also it plays a vital role in the process of securing employment. It is therefore important for students to understand what an essay is, learn the techniques of writing a well-balanced essay, and that's what we are going to learn today. Sometimes even a well-written essay by the student fails to meet the expectation of the examiner because they seem to lack the awareness of the requirement of the genre of essay that was assigned to them. So it is very important that we know what type of essay it is based on the topic that is given to us, and then write the essay accordingly. All right. The word essay comes into English from Latin through French, and it means to examine, try, test or weigh. This etymology will help us to understand the most essential quality of an essay. That is, an essay is an attempt to test or examine one's idea about a particular subject. Okay, so the word essay, it has Latin roots and it has come into English through French, the French influence, and it means to examine, try, test or weigh. All right, and we can say that we can define essay as an attempt to test or examine one's idea about a particular subject. Essay writing involves a number of skills, for example, like close reading, analysis, comparison and contrast, persuasion and exposition. Essay should be concise, it should have clarity, purpose and direction. There is no room in an essay for a writer's thought to wander or stray from the main idea or its purpose. All right. There are several kinds of essays, but essays can be classified into two main types: the discursive, also known as expository, and the argumentative essay, also known as persuasive essay. Of these, the most common essay genre, the discursive and the argumentative essay. In this particular video lesson, we will learn about discursive essay, and in the next video 24, we will learn about argumentative essays, right? So let's first look at the writing process per se before we go into discursive writing. Any piece of writing, good writing, involves three stages: the pre-writing, the actual writing, and then the post-writing. Follow this pattern to write good and effective essays. All right. Moving on. Let's look at the pre-writing stage. What goes into the pre-writing stage? This pre-writing stage is before you have actually even started writing. It can be split into several steps or subtasks. The first step would be to think and brainstorm on the given topic or the topic that you have selected. The second step would be to jot down the ideas that emerge from thinking and brainstorming. So it won't come logically or in a sequence. It will come, your thoughts process would be, your brainstorming would be, thoughts would come to you at randomly, but note down everything. Later you can put it into an order. That would come in step 3. Make an outline of the structure and select the ideas that would go into the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. You may label the ideas jotted down as table of contents. Okay, so this is the stage where you organize all the ideas that has come to you. Okay, now we will divide an essay into 3 parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The introduction will clearly state the topic to be discussed, often with a topic sentence. It will be 1 paragraph. Okay, the first paragraph. Body clearly states points and exemplifies and justifies them in 1 or 3 paragraphs, 1, 2 or 3 paragraphs, it depends. Okay, separate paragraphs you will put down the different ideas, and conclusion would be the last paragraph, the final paragraph. You will summarize and conclude by restating the ideas that you have already mentioned. Okay, and then the next important step here would be step 4. Check the following. All the points you wanted to make have been included. There is no point that is not necessary or is irrelevant, then you must remove it. That there is no repetitive ideas. Think again, cross-check, add, delete if necessary. Okay, so this revision stage is very important of the pre-writing stage. Okay, then we could come to, this was all in the pre-writing before actually starting to write. So you have brainstormed, and now you have put it in a sequence. You have put what should go into the introduction, into the body, into the conclusion. You have revised it once, and then you get to start writing. Okay, so the writing stage is the first draft. Here are some useful tips for writing effective essays. Okay, what should you take into consideration while writing an essay? Use a style or tone appropriate to the kind of essay being written. Okay, for example, a discursive essay is the presentation of ideas, facts in a logical, neutral, balanced tone. So use an impersonal and formal style. For example, if it's an argumentative essay, again use an impersonal formal style, but there you need to take a stand. So then take a stand, but then don't be biased. Okay, avoid contractions while writing, like aunt, he's. Okay, short forms, idioms, colloquial expressions, all these should be avoided. Avoid strong emotional language. For example, I love English, I hate. Okay, so don't be very emotional in your writing. Remember the earlier point where we said impersonal and formal style of essay writing should be adopted. Okay, and avoid over generalizations also. For example, like all students lack writing skills. You cannot over generalize. Okay, so be very thoughtful and thought-provoking while writing your essay. Also avoid cliches, proverbs, etc. All right. Also use reliable sources of information for reference. Okay, when you're including data, surveys, statistics and all, or even quotations, or you're referring to some book or a study, be very clear that you're using reliable sources, and because it can be checked, it can be verified. You just cannot use any information, make up any information and put it in your essay. And very important, be neutral, make general statement even if one differs in opinion. And that in a discursive essay, yes, fine, but when in an argumentative essay where you are supposed to take a stance, still be very you have your perspective, you have your point of view, but be considerate of other points of view and perspectives. And very important, because essays are usually divided into introduction, body and conclusion, and usually there will be the general pattern is the 5 paragraph essay introduction in the first paragraph and conclusion, and then it in the body 3 paragraphs. That it usually essays follow the 5 paragraph structure. So you must be very clear that it is cohesive, it is following, it is flowing smoothly, the ideas are interconnected, interrelated. So linkers, connectives, discourse markers should be used very carefully and properly to bring out logic and connect ideas, sentences and paragraphs. Okay, and use, if appropriate, a direct or thought-provoking question, quotation or a striking statement to begin the sentence. Only if you have some good quotation, which is appropriate, or a question, or even a statement, okay, a shock statement. Only if it is relevant to the topic, only then use it. Just don't use it for the sake of using it. Now we will move on to the post-writing stage, which is also very important. After the first draft, do some basic editing, check spelling, grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure. Okay, those are very important things. Check for the topic sentence. Is it clear? Okay, have you stated your thesis correctly? Then check for cohesion, whether it is flowing smoothly, if the ideas are interrelated. Okay, and then check use of connectors, if it those things. Revision, this is the revision stage. Go through your essay, see if there is anything that can be redone. Okay, check against the outline that you made in the pre-writing stage and the draft of stage 2 to check whether all the points are covered. Okay, see if you have missed out anything, see if you can add something or even rearrange so that it is more effective. Check the length, because sometimes they say write an essay in 300 words or 500 words. You should not exceed more than 50 words of the word limit that is given. Even the style, the points covered, add, delete to make your essay effective, and then write your final draft. Okay, so take some time for this post writing. Just like the pre-writing stage is important, the post writing is also important. You just cannot get a topic and just start writing. You need to follow the writing stage and then the post writing before you write your what do you call final essay. Let's look at discursive essays. Before we start, let's read the essay. So students, what we'll do now is look at an example of a discursive essay and then go into looking at all the modalities that going into writing a good discursive essay, and we will analyze the essay too, so that we are very clear on how to go about writing a good discursive essay. So let's read the following essay. It is titled The English Advantage. Alright, so let's read it together. English today is considered the world's leading international language. More than 400 million people speak the language all over the world, and increasingly it is also the language of international trade and commerce, communication, business, diplomacy, tourism and technology. However, despite English being the subsidiary official language of India, a good command over English language is still a major challenge for many Indian students. Hence, it is necessary for students to realize the importance of English and strive to gain proficiency in it. English has become the link language not only outside India but also within the country. Firstly, in an age of increasing globalization and migration within the country and outside, English is a language of empowerment. Prospective employers at home and abroad also seem to prefer students who not only have subject knowledge and technical skill but also a good command over the language. Secondly, governments are increasingly using technology to reach citizens and make services available to them online. With basic knowledge of technology and some familiarity with English, citizens can take advantage of these initiatives and save themselves from the drudgery of spending long hours in queues at offices and payment counters. Avoiding human interface will also drastically reduce the chances of corruption. Thirdly, thanks to the revolution in information and communication technology, an ocean of information is now available on the internet. With increased internet connectivity, this information becomes accessible to everyone. However, since most of this knowledge is available in English, those with proficiency in the language enjoy a clear advantage. The major beneficiaries of the ICT revolution would be students with a command over the English language, as they can go well beyond their textbook and broaden their horizons of their knowledge. The English language thus offers a window to the world. It facilitates mobility both within and outside the country. Greater proficiency in the English language helps one gain to the vast resources on the internet, which will in turn enhance the knowledge and create greater awareness. Moreover, proficiency in the English language will also help people participate in the modernization and digitalization process. This will eventually enable India to emerge as an advanced and developed country. Thus, one can conclude that by gaining greater proficiency in English, students can not only help themselves but also contribute to the nation's progress. Okay, so this was the essay. This was an example of a discursive essay. Now, it was about the advantage of learning English, both for personal and for the society and developing the nation. Now, let's look at the explanation. Let's analyze it so that it becomes clearer to you on how to go about writing a discursive essay. You just read an essay on the advantages of gaining proficiency in the English language. This was an example of a discursive essay, and the discursive essay is one that involves discussion. You're looking at all the perspectives, opinions, and viewpoints that are present. A discursive essay requires the writer to investigate the idea, evaluate evidence, expound, talk about the idea, and set forth an argument concerning the idea in a clear and concise manner. So all the aspects are looked at. Now let's look at the writing process that went into the writing of the discursive essay, the English advantage. I've broken it up for you. So you remember step 1 and step 2 of the writing process. The pre-writing stage is brainstorming and jotting down ideas. So let's look at how all the ideas would have come had this student brainstormed and jotted it down. So it would come randomly, so it is not in any logical sequence. It would have come naturally as the student or as someone thinks about the topic, the English advantage. Let's look at some of the points that have been noted down during the after the brainstorming or during the brainstorming session. Access to internet, advantages of proficiency in English, benefits of technology, development of nation, digitalized India, employment opportunities, English as the language of internet, globalization, information explosion, and IT revolution. So while brainstorming on the topic, the English advantage, these are the 10 important key points that came up. So it was jotted down. Now it's not in any sequence or order. Now we need to move to step 3, where we will put it in a sequential order, okay, based on the introduction, what do you call body, and what do you call conclusion. So there are some more points here: knowledge and awareness level, language of empowerment, link language, mother tongue influence, personal and national benefits, problems of Indian users of English, resources on the internet, spread of English, technology and corruption, use of English. So do you see all the points that has come to? Almost 20 points has come up in the brainstorming and jotting down the points that have come. Now we need to move to step 3, which is the outline. So we need to figure out, okay, what will go into the introduction, what would go into the body, and what would go into the conclusion. Prepare and outline the ideas by the ideas that go into each part of the essay. You may follow the method that you're comfortable with. Here is one example that we are giving you, okay? So you can just do it your way once the idea comes, but we are just giving you an example here. So look at this. You had 20 points that you had jotted down. So introduction, para 1, introduction is in para 1, okay? So ideas 17, 20 and 8, you can say, will go into the introduction. The body or the main part is paragraph 2, 3 and 4. So you identify what will go into para 2, 13, 9, 12 and 6, okay, of the ideas that you jotted down. Para 3 similarly, 19, 3, 18. And then para 4, 10, 1, 16, 7. What we are talking about here is the points that we noted down. You remember? 5, 10, 15 and 20. So this, what we are doing in step 3 is putting it down, divided it in the discursive essay. We are going to write it in 3 parts. You remember the writing process: introduction, body and conclusion. So which idea will go there? You can just make an outline this. And in paragraph 5, which would be the conclusion, 2, 11, 14, 5, 4, 15 would come in. So look how randomly when you're brainstorming the ideas will come. For example, look at what goes into introduction is 17, 20 and 8. So it has come in much later during, the thought process when you were thinking about the English advantage. But when we look at conclusion, for example, 2, 11, 14, 5, 4, 15, these are the points. So this has come much earlier. So when you're thinking, thoughts will come randomly. So it won't come in any sequential order, or it won't come, okay, this will go into introduction, this will go. So when you're in the brainstorming and jotting down step 1 and step 2 of the pre-writing stage, as ideas come, you need to jot them down and then organize them into what will go where, okay? Don't try to organize it during the brainstorming session. Then you move on to step 4, which is the post-writing. Check whether the topic sentence is clear and concise. Look at this. It is necessary for students to realize the importance of English and strive to gain proficiency in it. Okay, so the English advantage we are talking about. Check whether connectives, like see how when we read the essay, firstly, secondly, conjunctions like thus, however, moreover, are used effectively. And to appreciate the importance of connectives and conjunctions, try reading the essay by omitting them, and then you will see how, when the linkers and connectives are not there, how, disjointed the essay sounds. So try to use connectives and conjunctions effectively, so that you hold the essay together and there is cohesion and there is a smooth flow of ideas and there is the transition is smooth from one to the other. Remember, at the end of the essay, the advantage of gaining proficiency in English should become clear, because that is your thesis statement. That is the central idea of your essay, the English advantage. So what we did was look at the an example, the English advantage of a discursive essay, and then we analyzed it on how it was written, okay, and how you can effectively write a discursive essay. Now let's look at the structure of a discursive essay, or the 5 paragraph essay, which is the most common model that is followed globally. The introduction, first paragraph, fifth paragraph would be the conclusion, and the body would consist of 3 paragraphs. Okay, the 5 paragraph approach is the most common, but not the only method of writing a discursive essay. But then this is what is, basically accepted world over. Let's look at it. An introductory paragraph, 3 body paragraph comprising of supporting evidence to what the essay is, and the conclusion. Okay, and the structure of a discursive essay comprises of the following components. What is the first one? A clear and concise thesis statement in the first paragraph of the essay. This thesis statement or the topic sentence should be short, direct sentence that summarizes the central idea, the main point or the claims of the essay. The thesis statement or topic sentence is not merely a statement of the topic, it also gives the direction to the essay and controls the ideas of the essay. Okay, so the rest of the essay flows from this thesis statement. Often it also reflects the opinion or the judgment of the writer, and also functions to inform the readers what to expect in the body of the paper, the essay. Example, it is necessary for students to realize the importance of English and gain proficiency in it. That was your thesis statement or topic sentence in the example that we saw. So it should become very clear that what is the thesis statement, what is your essay going to be about, and what is the stand, the viewpoint of the writer also becomes clear. The thesis statement is developed and supported and explained in the body of the essay by means of examples and evidence. Okay, so that's the first point. And the second point that we need to take care in writing a discursive essay or is the body paragraphs that includes the evidential support to your thesis statement or your topic sentence. Each paragraph of the essay should discuss only one main idea and examples to support it. This will not only give clarity and direction to the essay, but will also enhance its readability. Okay, but when people are reading your essay, there should be a smooth flow of ideas. It should organically be connected. Ideas should be connected, examples should be relevant, supporting evidence should be relevant, and your thesis, your main thesis or your topic sentence should be clearer as the reading goes on. Okay, please note that each paragraph in the body of the essay must be logically connected to the thesis statement in the opening paragraph. And the other important thing that you need to take into consideration, the third important point, is a conclusion does not simply restate the thesis or but readdresses it in the light of the evidence provided. So the conclusion should round off your essay, not by simply restating your thesis statement. What it should do is it should readdress the topic again in the light of all the supporting evidence, the examples, the data that you have given in the main body of your essay. You should conclude it that way. The conclusion of the essay is as important as the introduction or the beginning, because while the opening paragraph motivates the reader to read further, the concluding paragraph is what the reader is most likely to remember after completing the essay, because it is a summing up of all that you have said in the essay and also addressing all the main points that you have presented in the essay. Therefore, we must remember that the conclusion should be strong and logical, just like your introduction. The entire essay should be strong and logical, is is a given, but the conclusion should be very, very effective. No new information should be introduced in the conclusion. Instead, synthesize the information presented in the body of the essay, the evidence, the examples, your standpoint, your perspective, and arrive at a conclusion on the topic in your final paragraph, which would be your conclusion. All right, and then while writing the discursive essay according to the structure that we have said, the 5 paragraph structure, keep in mind the importance of logical transition between the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Without logical transition, the essay will just appear like a list of ideas that are disjointed, just put together, randomly, instead of being a coherent, cohesive, organic composition. So that's very, very important. All right, and then to wrap up, let's just quickly go through all the important points so that it will be useful for you, helping you write essays, discursive essays, and in the next video when we do argumentative essays. So what are some of the points that we need to remember? Choose an apt title for the essay if not provided. Okay, so sometimes what happens is they just give you a brief outline and say develop an essay on it. All right, so for that you need to also give a title, but then generally titles are given and then you go on to writing your essay. Sometimes 6 or 7 ideas are given, a brief outline is given, and they say develop an essay on it. Then you need to also give a title. Brainstorm, and the title is important because it conveys the main idea of the essay. All right, so very important. If title is not given, your process of going about choosing a title. Then the second one point to remember is brainstorm and prepare an outline and develop the thesis statement. That's very important. Brainstorming, preparing the outline, like how we showed, and then the thesis statement should emerge. Okay, these are important preliminary steps. This is at the pre-writing stage. Use linkers and to connect the ideas within the essay. Those are very important. Linkers, conjunctions, all this must be used effectively. All right, otherwise your essay will look very disjointed and ideas thrown in randomly. Start and end, if you wish, with a quotation, statement, or rhetorical question to make the essay impressive. This is a very good idea, but only if if you have a relevant quotation, if you have an impressive rhetorical question, only then do use it. Okay, but just for the sake of doing it, don't do it. The 5th point to remember is the 3 stages of writing: pre-writing, writing, post-writing. Don't ever skip any of these stages. Get your facts right, because see, in the body of the essay you need evidences to support your argument, or evidences, statistics, data, examples, quotations, references, whatever you are using. It must be authentic. It should be verifiable. Just don't make anything up and put it there just so that it looks impressive. No, it doesn't look impressive, and your falsehood will be evident, and then nobody is going to read your essay. Again, be balanced, unemotional, and impersonal. Whether it's the discursive or whether it is the argumentative, which we'll be doing in the next video, having a balanced standpoint is very, very important. Okay, use simple language, appropriate vocabulary, eliminate grammatical errors and spelling. These are not allowed at all. Okay, grammatical errors and spellings you should be very careful about, and use simple language and appropriate, because each topic lends itself to its vocabulary. So use that vocabulary that would be correct in the context of the topic. Use separate paragraphs, generally 1 paragraph for one idea, for different ideas, and then link them with connectors. Okay, pay attention to editing in the post-writing stage. Always reread it and then have a final draft. I hope, students, you found the essay writing video lesson useful. In the next video, we will discuss argumentative essay. My advice to you would be to pick up topics and start practicing writing essays, because it's a very important skill both in academics and also in the in your profession, whatever you choose. So pick up topics, start brainstorming on it, and if you feel you're not getting enough ideas, then read up on the topic and then go through the 3 stages, that is the pre-writing, then make an outline, then write it, and then the post-writing where you edit and write the final draft. Also try to follow the structure, the 5 paragraph essay structure, where you have an introduction, then the last would be the conclusion, and the body in 3 parts. So go, once a week you can write an essay. So what happens is, it helps you think creatively, critically. It helps you read, analyze, compare, contrast. A lot of skills are involved in essay writing. Your writing skills improves, your reading skills improves, your general knowledge improves, your critical thinking ability, your ability to look at things from different viewpoints. All these are very important 21st century skills. So do practice essay writing, and I'll see you in the next lesson with argumentative essays. Thank you, students. Stay safe.